These are my top accessories for the new M4 MacBook Air and one for the Mac Mini. I'm going to show you multi-port chargers that can fast charge the MacBook Air, one of the most portable power banks for a laptop, the best USB-C hubs, the sleeve I'm carrying it all in, and yes, I'm also going to talk about this monstrosity that can also charge your MacBook Air. So when you get a new MacBook Air, you have the choice of two power brick options when you buy it. By default, it comes with this 35-watt, pretty weak USB-C charger. It does have two ports, but this is not going to fast charge your MacBook Air. If you were looking at the base model MacBook Air, to get the higher 70-watt USB-C power adapter, that's another $20. And about 70 watts is what you need to fast charge the MacBook Air. Fast charging means it can get up to 50% battery in around 30 minutes. Instead, I would recommend spending another $27 and getting this 65-watt charger from UGreen. It's an ultra-thin charger for your MacBook Air, prongs fold up, and this has two USB-C and a USB-A port. Now, if you plug in multiple devices, you'll be dividing the 65-watt max power output, but I'm going to share some more powerful chargers in a second. This one from UGreen is only $47, and yes, all affiliate links will be down in the description. And it supports the channel when you buy accessories like this through my links. Now, if you want to spend a little more but be able to charge even more devices, this Anker 140-watt charger is really nice, has three USB-C ports and a USB-A port. Right now it's about $90, but it has that 140-watt output. So you could fast charge your MacBook Air and charge your iPad and your iPhone all at the same time. Plus, the cool thing about this charger is as you plug in devices, it's going to tell you the power output per port. It also will even give you temperature monitoring if it starts getting too hot. But I'll plug in my phone here in addition to my MacBook Air. And now you'll see the MacBook is getting about 30 watts. It's almost fully charged, which is why it's charging a little slower right now. And the phone is getting about 17, 16 watts. So pretty cool to be able to have those meters right here on the charger. Now, if you don't care for the screen, but you want to be able to have Find My with your charger, the 12 South PlugBug 120, it's a 120-watt charger, so will fast charge your MacBook Air. Plus, you can charge a bunch of other devices here, 4 USB-C ports, which is pretty rare on a plug like this. Even the Anker one, they give you 3 USB-C and then a USB-A. So if you want all USB-C, this is a good one. Prongs fold in and out. Then you can actually pair it with your Find My app on the iPhone. It also plays a sound, does a whole song there, and it'll be part of the Find My network. Now let's say you're not going to be able to plug anything in for a while and you need a power bank on the go. Well, this is the new Belkin Boost Charge Pro laptop power bank. Has a screen on it, little button here, and this is a 20,000 milliamp hour battery that's also capable of 65-watt output, so it could fast charge your MacBook Air. When this battery was fully charged, I plugged in my MacBook Air at 27%, and then just an hour later, the MacBook Air was over 90%, almost fully charged, and the power bank down to 20-something%. So even if you were in single-digit percentages, this little battery can get your MacBook Air almost to fully charged, and it does it pretty quickly. Here's 2 USB-C ports and a USB-A port. This one is definitely staying in my laptop sleeve and bag. Now, if you want something slightly more beefy, then I would recommend the Anker 165-watt 25,000 milliamp hour battery. So this is 5,000 more milliamp hours. You get a little more battery. USB-C here, A, has the button on the side to let you know how much percentage is left, plus it'll tell you the power output. But this thing's pretty cool because it has 2 USB-C cables built in. One acts as the lanyard, and then one is actually retractable from the top. So this power bank's pretty sweet. I keep this in my backpack, especially when traveling. And when you plug in a device, it'll tell you the power output right here on the screen. Our last thing in the charger category, we have to talk about this. This is the Scosche BaseLynx 2.0. It is a modular charging system, so you can actually mix and match pieces of this. I can pull out these little dividers, which I'm going to show you how to use with an iPad and even a MacBook Air in a second. I can take apart the Apple Watch and phone charger, and if I wanted to, I could just rearrange this however I'd like. Then it has an end cap that actually plugs into the wall, has an outlet here on top, and also a 65-watt USB-C port right here. You also get 65 watts combined with 3 ports, so you can plug in a couple iPads and a phone or whatever you'd like. Put this all together, and now you have the ultimate charger. Also, there is a little rubber cover on each of these dividers, so you can put a naked iPad in there, and you don't have to worry about it scratching up. Let me actually go back to the former arrangement here. And there's even a little end cap over there, so if you want to switch the phone and Apple Watch charger, you can do that too. But now let's go with phone charging, put our Apple Watch next to that. Maybe I'll take my Nothing Phone 3A, which I'll be reviewing soon, so get subscribed, that video's coming. And in the box, you do get 3 short cables for charging, 2 USB-C to USB-C, 1 USB-C to Lightning cable. And I do still use an iPhone 14 as a testing device, so I'll plug that into the second slot. Now I could put my iPad in this last slot and plug that into the USB-C port, or to make this applicable to the MacBook Air, could slide that right in here, take the last little USB-C cable, and I'll plug that into the last port over here on the end. Now I'm charging my computer, 2 phones, my personal iPhone, my Apple Watch, and there's still another outlet right here if you wanted to go crazy. Maybe put the Anker charger in there. I mean, you're charging everything. This is wild. Now there's various versions on Amazon and directly through Apple's website. This one is $120. You get the iPhone, AirPods. Oh, which I totally forgot to mention. This is like a wireless AirPods charger right here. No magnet to hold it, but it is wireless charging, so you can put your AirPods Pro there and it charges it too. So you can get the little multi-device dividers plus iPhone and AirPods for $120. And then you can mix and match Apple Watch, iPhone, the end caps. You can double vertical charging stations, do all kinds of crazy stuff. So link to all of that down below as well. All right, back to business. If you have a MacBook Air, you might need additional ports like HDMI, SD card slots, and this has been my go-to for the last week. It is a 7-in-2 USB-C port. I like these style because they take up both ports on the MacBook Air, but doesn't cover the MagSafe charger. Gives you all those ports along the side, pretty much everything you would need. So this stays in the bag for sure, but if you prefer a more dongle-style USB-C hub, this thing has served me well over the last 4, 5, or more years. I don't even know. But you got HDMI, 2 USB-C ports, an Ethernet jack over here, plus USB-A and SD card readers. One cable to the MacBook Air or other Mac, and you're good to go. I'll put a link to this, and I can attest to its durability, because this has gone on many trips with me and still works great. Now, I said I'd show you one Mac Mini accessory, and it's this right here. This is the Satechi stand and dock for the new M4 Mac Mini, and it's awesome. Not only does it give you ports on the front of the Mac Mini, including an SD card slot, which is missing from the Mac Mini as a whole. You get some USB-A ports on the front, which I'll be using for things like USB mics. Yes, there is even a cutout to get to that power button on the Mac Mini, but the best part of this dock and stand is there is a slot right here for an NVMe SSD. So you can put a 1-2 terabyte SSD in here, and once you connect this to your Mac Mini, it's got a built-in cable right here. You'll have that external SSD always connected to your Mac Mini, plus you get those additional ports. This thing is pretty awesome. It's about $100 on Amazon, does not come with the NVMe SSD, so keep that in mind. Now, if you need even more connectivity for your MacBook Air, you can consider the Hyperdrive 4K dual HDMI hub. The new M4 MacBook Air does support those 2 external monitors up to 6K. This is only 4K, so keep that in mind, but this also has a bunch of other ports like USB-A, Ethernet, or if you just want way more Thunderbolt ports, you can get the CalDigit Thunderbolt 4 Element Hub. I actually have one of those behind my Mac Studio. You'll get 2 Thunderbolt ports for the price of 1, plus charging, and 4 USB-A ports. Now, what do I put all these accessories in my MacBook Air? I've been using the WaterField Executive Laptop Sleeve. I mentioned this in my video comparing to the M3 Pro MacBook Pro. I'll link that video above. With this video, I can fit my USB-C dock here, the computer. There's also another sleeve here. You can put your iPad. And then in the front, I got my MagSafe cable, Thunderbolt cable. And then for charging, I'm going to keep my UGreen 65-watt charger there. And the Belkin power bank I'm going to put in the other sleeve, and I'm good to go. Now, if leather is the name of the game, I would direct you to Harber, London. They make amazing leather products. This is their sleeve for the MacBook Air. Please ignore these stains. This happened just this morning. I had just finished editing Primary Technology. That's my tech show with Jason Aiton. You should subscribe above, but then I spilled my cold brew cup all over my floor. It was very traumatic. So anyway, these stains are not Harber London's fault, they're mine. But anyway, MacBook Air fits in here all the same, and you still have little pockets for your charger and cables, another little pocket over on this side, and this passes the sniff test. Genuine leather. Our last 2 accessories, you need USB-C cables to connect your drives or other accessories to your MacBook, and I have loved the Baseus braided USB-C cables, and it's basically all I use now. Bonus accessory, these are little cord tacos from Ondar, leather, button snap, love those. But when I tell you that I have a literal ton of Baseus cables with those little cord tacos, I'm not kidding. I basically get these everywhere. Some of them sit in my travel bag, many sit here at my desk. This is an old school This Is Ground leather cord taco. Let me know in the comments if you remember these guys. So yeah, Baseus cables, they're good. And finally, whether you put it in your MacBook sleeve or your backpack, I've been using the Elevation AirTag Life Extender. I talked about this in one of my last accessory videos, but this will extend an AirTag life up to 10 years. And no, this is not great for a keychain or some really thin pocket, but throw this in your backpack or carry-on and check-in luggage, and then you don't have to worry about changing that AirTag battery for literal years. Pretty sweet. I'll mention a couple of things because they're here on my desk. If you remember the continuity camera Belkin MagSafe clip, I still keep this in my bag if I'm going to record a podcast with Riverside. And I do still use the Nomad Ultra Slim charger as well. It's a little smaller than the UGreen, 2 USB-C ports, but I like the build quality of the UGreen actually a little better. Still keeping this, it's a 65-watt charger, and it stays in the travel bag. So those are my favorite accessories for the new M4 MacBook Air and one for the M4 Mac Mini. Let me know if I missed one of your favorites down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Again, if you want to see my comparison with the M4 Air and M3 MacBook Pro, that video's right up here. Or if you want to check out my video on the M4 Mac Mini I did and how I use it as a home server, check out this video right up here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.